how places police people who are sleeping outdoors because they don't have other shelter. That is at the center of a case now before the Supreme Court. Our Steve Sager looks at the implications for Denver and other cities in Colorado.
We'll hear arguments first this morning in case 23-175, City of Grants Pass versus Johnson.
A law in a town of 39,000 people, 1,200 miles away from Denver, is now going before the nation's highest court.
This case actually has a fairly narrow question.
Several people living in homelessness have challenged the town of Grants Pass, Oregon, over a camping ban, arguing the ban there violates the Constitution's ban on cruel and unusual punishment.
It's narrow in the sense that it would only apply at times and in situations where there are not enough beds available and not enough shelter available.
Farrell says in a city like Aurora, where a camping ban specifically spells out enforcement only when shelter beds are available, not much would change. But in cities like Denver and Boulder, where the shelter portion isn't specifically spelled out, a ruling could change the way things are enforced. The ACLU is suing the city of Boulder over their ban, claiming it's enforced regardless of shelter availability.
When there aren't enough places for people to go, we just don't have other alternatives.
Lisa Sweeney Moran is an advocate who was one of the original plaintiffs on that lawsuit.
If we say that it is illegal to camp outside, even when there are no shelters, I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means for people.
She fears the consequences if the court rules in favor of Grants Pass, predicting increases in the cost of policing and decreases in funding for services that make a difference.
It's money we could spend on housing. It's money we could spend on help. But instead of spending it on helping, we're spending it on shuffling a problem from one block to another.
So it'll be months before the court issues any kind of ruling in this case, but folks are already reading the tea leaves, so to speak. Some believe that the court will vote along those ideological lines with the majority in favor of that law in Grants Pass. Farrell says he heard justices skeptical of the law, so he predicts they may reach a narrower ruling without big impacts on the policy itself, Kyle.
Yeah, a couple of off-ramps that the justices could take if they don't want to go after this head on.
You could take the necessity argument, the idea that you're not guilty of a crime if it was necessary for your survival. So in this case, if people have nowhere else to go and have to sleep outside, that would be the necessity argument. Farrell also says they could also take a look at the actual claimants in this case who have only been issued tickets. They haven't gotten to that arrest level yet. So technically it's not a crime or a criminal issue. And if you're trying to make a cruel and unusual punishment argument, it's going to be tough to do when it's just a civil matter.
Steve Sager, good to have you back around the old haunts here on Next.
Good to see you.